Hey, it's Malachi. I want to tell you guys a story. Now, I hope you can utilize this story to understand why it's important to be careful on how you kind of judge people at certain times in their lives or in certain situations, and how sometimes no one really ever knows the full story. And so I'm going to tell you a story about that item right behind John Travolta's head there, because it's this. It's a Hendrix vodka. Now, during the time of this movie, this vodka was doing good, like the #1 selling vodka in the United States or something like that. Or maybe not, but it was like, it was the fastest growing, let's just say that. So, and during this time, there was the start of a major lawsuit with the Hendrix family. And the guy that is the bartender in the back, his name is Craig Diefenbach. And at the time, he was on the rise. And we knew each other. We're kind of friends. I was kind of the last guy he talked with before he went to prison, but that's a whole other story. I think he got out. I haven't talked to him for a while. So anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But the aspect of this was he was riding high on the hog, which is this movie. What's this movie called? Wild Hogs, right? So he's riding high on the hog. You know, everybody around him, oh yeah, this is huge, and making a lot of money and going to all these premieres. I'll insert some pictures if I can find them. Big stuff going on in Vegas, chumming with all the movie stars. Of course, he was in this movie here, just as a background guy. Had product placement, all these different things going on. And at the same time, he's getting all these people telling him how to do different things, except for me. I was that one guy that was sitting with him and saying, dude, you ain't going to win this lawsuit. And then me getting calls from his lawyers saying, you're interfering with a contract and blah, blah, blah. You're going to sue me. And I told him, I said, well, I actually know the Hendrix family. We've discussed some of this stuff to a point. Actually, it was so weird with everything, because I was in the Hendrix, Janie Hendrix is the one that controls the Jimi Hendrix name right now. I was in her offices down in Tukwila and talking with Bob Hendrix, that was Jimmy's cousin, right? And he was the vice president of Experience Hendrix. And we went into a room and he showed me, he said, that's the lawsuit with Craig. Stacks and stacks and stacks. And I said to him, what could we do to fix this? He said, right now we're in the hole about $1 million, right? I said, well, why don't I go to Craig, tell him to pay you $1.5 million, have him redesign it, take the word Jimmy off of it, just call it Hendrix, do a separate kind of partial licensing deal with you just to get you guys squared away, and just drop the lawsuit. And he goes, well, if you could do that, then we would think about it. And so I called Craig. I said, hey, dude, just, give her $1 million and change something a little bit. And then, of course, like I said, his lawyers were calling me saying it was I was interfering with the contract and they would sue me. It's I can't remember the term right now. I'm not in my legal state of mind, but and there was no way that they were going to lose this lawsuit and all this, that, and they were the biggest law firm, I believe, out of New York, and one other guy was from DC. Total dweebs. I've yet to be ever sued, and I ran off and did Hendrix coffee and I never had a problem. Matter of fact, Janie Hendrix was drinking the coffee, Bob Hendrix, everybody in the office drank the coffee. No one had a problem with me. They all had a problem with him. But here's the thing with him, and I'm going to play a little bit more of this film. The thing with him was, there's a lot of issues with him. I kind of like the guy. I understand his personality is very driven, but he would get so caught up on listening to other people that he thought had more knowledge or wisdom or whatever. And in reality, I was in the courtroom on the first day of trial, and I heard his lawyer, and the guy sounded like a freaking total dweeb. He lost that case the very first day. Really, he did. He lost it the very first day because his lawyer sucked. As a matter of fact, I think I told him that as we were leaving the courtroom. I says, this guy sucks, dude. But that's me. That's how I am. I'm very, like that. But like I said, they were riding high on the hog. Oh, man, this is this. We're doing all these events, blah, blah, blah. We could be $100 million company, blah, blah, blah. We'll bring you in. They said, we'll bring the coffee in. We'll do all this kind of crap. I said, dude, I don't think so, man. I can get you this deal. Then we'll just have to slightly change a few things. And it was only minor changes. But they got the you know what the minor change was? Just changing the look just slightly and taking the word Jimmy off of it. That was it. Because that's how she got him, is that Jimmy was had too much of a because it was a signature and theirs is based off a signature. Anyways. But high on the hog, and I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes, we see all these people in power, and you don't realize that they have a lot of other people that are around them that, unfortunately, sometimes they view as people with some smarts and brains. Well, they're a lawyer, and they are this or they are that, and they should know better. It's like all the people that are surrounding these guys. It's like people go, well, why is John Travolta's career in the tank? Well, because he's got a lot of people around him. I'm pretty sure that he, at some point, they look upon themselves and go, am I right? Am I right? But then they enclose themselves with so many people around them that they don't get out. You know what I mean? To get to people. Like myself with Craig, I was the guy to tell him, hey, dude, you're going to freaking lose. You're going to lose everything. You're going to get screwed. He still owes $3.2 million. He'll never get out of that. He'll always haunt him. And not only that, he owed money to the other investors that got involved, and it was a whole mess. I know so much about the Hendrix world you do not even believe. And more so than I think anybody else alive, except for the guys that were actually doing it. But let's play a little more, and I'll show you old Craig.
It's just a patch that Doug's wife made. We sewed it on our jackets so she wouldn't feel bad.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Well, what has your wife ever made us?
Hard. Hey, that's true. Yeah.
She's good looking.
Show some respect.
Come on, that's what your wife does. She's a swimsuit model, and a good one. I mean, she is hot.
Okay, here's a question. What are we doing here?
Having beers like we do every week.
No. Bigger picture, life, man.
So funny. So, but like I said, all I'm trying to do with this video is hopefully, if I can, the best way is to really tell people because I have trolls. I always have trolls. I have a lot of people that view my videos that they never write anything in the comments. They'll send me emails, and they're trolling all the time. They're always dogging on something, and or they'll reference somebody else. The world is a strange place. There's a lot of things out there that you see that you think are one thing, and they're totally something else.
What do we have to look forward
Craig,
to? But writing formation, the Labor Day.
The guy in the background, was he a bad guy? No. A lot of people thought he was. I knew he was. But I know it all stems from when he was a kid. His whole issues. He's a runner. He's a runner type person. And I know his whole history. Matter of fact, the guy.
Day parade, is that it?
I'm really looking forward to the parade. I got Tootsie Rolls I can throw to the
The
kids.
Hendrix guy.
Tootsie
Anyways, I can't
Rolls
stop
that
it.
he can throw to the kids. Man, you can't even put on your turn singing without busting your ass.
Look, let's put some real miles on those bikes.
Road trip?
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's wiping the counter. The other thing, interestingly enough, about Craig, and I tried to tell him this when he was in prison. I said, "Why don't you write a book?" Because do you know that he was also, in his younger years, one of the largest suppliers of cocaine on the West Coast, and he started selling cocaine from a CIA agent when he was a kid out of California. Somebody approached him when he was young. He started selling. He started, being a mule, that kind of thing. And it grew from there. So anyways, that's another inside story. And another interesting thing about this guy is that his ex-wife has some pretty amazing documents that show that China has laundered hundreds of millions of dollars to Seattle and the governor. Yep. And I've seen it all.
A road trip. Just us. No rules. No touch.
So that's a little story about how I connected with some guy that was in a movie as a bartender trying to show off his product just before he lost everything. And I think maybe 5 years later ended up in prison, federal prison. He got out. I don't know what he's doing right now. I think he's maybe changed for the better. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I'm going to do what I can to reach out to him because I always liked the guy. Because I liked him because he had this endless drive, and we called him the crazy German. And anyways, I don't know if this helps anybody. I don't know if anybody even cares about this story, but I just thought I'd tell it. I was in a storytelling mood. So there you go. I have far more stories than that, but that's just one I'm going to share today. Anyways, that's it. Always be careful on how you judge people, and sometimes, unless you're really in their inner circle, truly, you don't know nothing about them. It's just even like this guy, John Travolta. We don't know. He's probably got so many people around him. He's supporting and he's helping, and he's he doesn't have anybody outside his circle that he can even trust to say, "Hey, dude, get it together." And sometimes you get circles around you of people that you just turn into a different person because there's no one to ground you, And I think I said this in this video. I've done it a couple times, but Craig, I was the last person he saw. I think we went out to dinner or something like that. Last person he had dinner with before he went to prison. Matter of fact, this bass, he gave me this bass just before he went to prison. That bass is hanging on that wall, that red one. That red one was in his studio. He used to own a studio in Seattle, and that bass has been played by guys from Alice in Chains, Queensryche, Queens of the Stone Age, United States of America, or Presidents of America, or something like that, whatever that band was called. So many people have played that bass. It's just been on so many albums. It was a crappy old bass that was in a studio that was used on tracks because it was a crappy bass, but it sounded so good. But was a staple in a studio for years and years and years. A major Seattle recording studio. Actually, it was in two of them. It was in what was the studio called? Columbia City studio, and then it was in the other one that was under the bridge in Green Lake, something like that. Anyways, I can't remember totally, but anyway,
Rolls. Just us.
there it is. There it is, at its peak and glory. And old Malachi, the guy you're seeing right here, was the one saying, "Hey, dude, yeah, you're at the peak of your glory now, but dude, there's some crap coming down the pipe here, and so let me help you out." No, man, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not going to happen to me. Oh, everything's going to be fine. We're going to be worth $100 million, and I'll show you. All right. I always have the last laugh, right? Malachi said it out. Hug your kids, call your parents, go see your neighbor, repent, and be baptized.
Met by circumstance, the fate of random chance, the only reason I laid eyes on you. A call is all it needs to plant the eternal seed of love that's growing inside of you.